This video is an introduction to using reasoning and evidence to support your position. In an academic setting, it is not enough to simply have an opinion. You need to support that opinion, what we will sometimes call a position, claim, or point, with reasoning and evidence. Reasoning is the use of a logical argument, or thinking that makes sense, to support a position or point. Essentially, it is stating and explaining why something can be judged as true. For reasoning to be effective, it requires the use of evidence. Evidence is something that supports or proves your position. It comes in a number of different forms. It could be a quote from a respected expert in a particular field or from a text you are analyzing. It could be a real-life example that demonstrates what your position states. It could even be a statistic from a research report that supports your position, or a fact proven elsewhere that you use to support your position. The key detail here is that the evidence needs to support your position. Otherwise, it isn't good evidence. In this class, you will do a great deal of work in forming positions in a logical way so that the reasoning of your positions is clear. The reasoning process you will use in this class has 3 steps. 1. Assertion. 2. Evidence. And 3. Explanation. For the assertion step, you will make a claim stating your opinion, position, or point, along with the reason why or how it is true or correct. Next, you will introduce evidence in support of this assertion. Third, you will explain why or how this evidence supports the assertion, then restate that assertion. Sometimes this may seem obvious and redundant. Nonetheless, you still need to provide this explanation. Other times, providing an explanation will be difficult and problematic. In both cases, it is extremely important to follow through on all 3 steps so your audience can clearly follow the reasoning of your position. Now, one of the common ways that this reasoning process will come up in class is through writing tasks that I assign to you. For example, I might ask you to take a position on whether violence is ever justified. Using our reasoning process, you would do the following. Make a claim as to why or under what conditions violence is justified. Next, provide an example that supports your position. Finally, explain how your example supports your position and restate your claim. Let's color code these steps of the process so it's easier to see. So how would this writing task look? Here is the sample. Here is the sample as running text. Feel free to pause the video so you can read it more clearly. Now let's look at it with the numbers to show the 3 steps of the reasoning process. And finally, here it is with the numbers and color coding. Mastering the reasoning process using evidence in this fashion is vital to performing well in school, college, and career. Take a moment to reflect on the reasoning process. Does it make sense? How comfortable are you with it? If you are not comfortable with this reasoning process, you may want to practice using it on your own. Moreover, you will have ample opportunities for practice in class.